Interactive 3D displays bring tactile visual depth to digital content that once was only possible in science fiction. Hologram technology now allows researchers to project lifelike images that respond to human touch and movement. Scientists have achieved a breakthrough innovation with Flexivol, a revolutionary system that changes how volumetric images are created and interacted with. The groundbreaking development replaces rigid components with elastic materials, making direct interaction with holograms safer and more intuitive. What's going on here, John?
Yeah, so this is cool. I like this. So traditional holograms, obviously, they appear suspended in midair, and they're often made using a rapidly oscillating surface called a diffuser. So the images themselves, they're projected onto this diffuser at thousands of frames per second, and it creates a convincing 3D image due to persistence of vision, right? However, the surface itself is usually rigid and moves so fast that trying to touch it would injure you or break the device, until now. To solve this, the researchers at Public University of Navarra, they introduced this elastic diffuser, which is made from stretchy strips, which allows safe, direct hand interaction. So when users insert their fingers between these oscillating elastic strips, the system adjusts the projected image in real time so that virtual objects appear consistent and stable, even as the material deforms. So they're calling the technology Flexivol, and it lets people grab, rotate, or even perform finger gestures to manipulate these virtual objects in midair, which essentially is bridging the gap between digital and physical touch for holographic displays. I think this is really cool. You're not going to need VR headsets. You're not going to need special glasses. You can just interact naturally. I think this is a cool technology there's so many applications, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's amazing. There's so many applications for this. It depends on the cost. And it's a combination of the Flexi system where it's like a rubbery instead of rigid, and the real-time imagery that allows it to respond quickly, the real-time image correction that maintains the visual quality during the interaction. So it reacts when you touch it and changes the images that are repeating at 2880 images per second, so that you're getting a really good quality image that moves and touches, not all super distorted and whatnot. This is really cool for all sorts of reasons. This reminds me of, Minority Report, the hologram globes we see in all sorts of stuff, the interactive sky maps that we see in shows and whatnot that sci-fi has done for us. And I really love what this is doing, because now you can interact. Imagine being able to interact with, as a training doctor, human body, as an example.
Yeah.
Or as a kid, being able to build, a little nuclear fusion reactor thing, because the stuff moves it apart. Or imagine all the things you could do, from STEM learning, museums and exhibition engaging visitors like never before. And this is definitely a step towards what I call the holodeck experience.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what we're getting to. This is cool. There's so many applications. Like, you can assemble a virtual engine. You can teach anatomy. You can have collaborative workspaces, public exhibits like museums and different things like that. This, I think, is a giant leap forward for potentially how people can learn in this new digital age, I think.
Yeah, and it's the first system that enables direct bare-handed manipulation without any external controls or devices. So it's definitely something interesting here. They have a come and interact paradigm, allowing any user to engage simply by approaching the display.
Yeah.
So a direct alignment between hand position and the rendered object enables intuitive physical movements. It sounds amazing, and I would love to play with this.
Yeah, me too. This is perfect for STEM topics. It gives people a more immersive way to explore these topics. You could interact with historical artifacts without actually touching the historical artifacts. You could have a real-time view of the engine that you're working on and kind of interact with it and find the problem without using special gloves like they did in Minority Report, which you may have to still, but if we're getting more advanced. But I think this is a key innovation that's going to go far as long as they can get it to a point where it's usable and it's quality enough, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And it looks like it's quality enough based on the stuff we have here, but I don't know what that means, right?
Yeah.
So elimination of external controllers make volumetric display technology more accessible than previous systems. User interact with 3D objects using natural hand movements similar to smartphone gestures. That's where you get the Minority Report thing. So you'd be able to do it without gloves, potentially, depending on what the functions were in each of those, button clicks meant potentially on fingers when you're clicking stuff or what have you.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of current limitations. It remains experimental. Timeline for commercial availability has not been defined by the researchers, so we're not sure what it is. But however, the successful demonstrations prove that interactive holograms are no longer science fiction.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for this. I'm curious to see how long it takes them to get into an institution or get it to a point where it's commercially viable and usable. But this is cool.
So we'll have to see the future. We'll keep an eye on this, but we'd love to know what you think about this 3D hologram controller, and would you be excited, or what uses would you like to see from that? Leave us a comment in below. So what do you got going on, John? This will probably be early September.
Early September. So not much. I'll have some office hours at TBDC. Obviously, there's startup drinks in September, TechTO in September, and this will be in October, but Elevate. So yeah,
and we'll have Flowgrammer events as well.
Flowgrammer.
Yep. So check a look at torontostarts.com, flowgrammer.ca for all that details, and you help people get non-dilutive funding, John. What does that mean? Who should reach out to you? How does that work?
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's a disconnect between what an actual startup is and what the government thinks a startup is. So you need to be around for at least 2 years if you're looking for anything other than a hiring grant. If you're looking for a hiring grant, those are easy to do on your own. But if you're looking for anything other than that, reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's the best way. But for any startup business coaching or needs, what do they do, Craig?
Just head over to torontostarts.com. Almost everything we do is over there. We help startups succeed. There's mentoring, there's templates, there's our workshops, there's grant information, there's programs, there's events, there's all sorts of stuff. Go check that out. And everything's over there. If you're looking to automate your business, use AI and automation tools to take your business next level, cut expenses, grow your business, check out flowgrammer.ca and the services over there. We also run an Inner Circle Builders Club where we're having our members building new stuff every week. If you're just getting started, if you're into that, if you need a team around you to help you consistently build and ship product, take a look at flowgrammer.ca and think about joining our Inner Circle.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks everyone.